Chris Hipkins.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman, and I want to continue on this issue of the new teaching position that has been established by the supplementary order paper, now incorporated into the bill by the Select Committee by majority. And it deals with and I want to turn to page 9 of the bill, and I want to start first of all with the definition around line 19 of an employment-based trainee teacher and who that would, what this new position would cover. It means a person who is undertaking an initial teacher education program that includes a period of employment by a board. Well, the first thing that I would like the Minister to explain more on is around the initial teacher education programs and the approval process for those, because are we to take that to mean that it has to be, for example, an NZQA or a QAP approved initial teacher education program, or could anybody simply establish an initial teacher education program in order to meet that criteria? Because the wording is loose. It doesn't say, it doesn't contain anything around what the initial teacher education program might have to involve, or who might approve the initial teacher education program. The employment-based trainee teacher position means a position established by the Secretary under section 910(1), which I'm going to now turn to, because there has been a change to this, to the way it was first presented to us, and that there is a minor wording change. And so what it now says is, on receipt of a request from the board of a school, the Secretary may, by written notice to the board, establish an employment-based trainee teacher position for the school. Now, the question that I have, and my reading of this, would be that that position could therefore only be established on request from the school board. Now, the original wording as presented to the Select Committee didn't have the words, from my recollection, did not have the words around on request from the school board. So this was a change made by the Select Committee, and I would like to seek some reassurance from the Minister that the effect of this change will be to ensure that their position cannot be established against the will of the school Board of Trustees. Because under the SOP as presented to the committee, the Minister was going to be able to impose one of these positions on a school Board of Trustees. And this change that's been made by the Select Committee, and I agree with the change, basically says that the school board would need to request that. And I want to seek some reassurance that that means that there wouldn't be any other circumstances in which a board, for example, could be compelled to request that by the government. Because certainly the government could do that in any number of other ways by simply saying to a school board, well, you won't get this unless you actually ask us to do that. And I want to seek some reassurance that no school board would be compelled to establish such a position if they didn't think it would be in the interest of their students. And I think that that's important. The second thing is that this wording under 91.0 around basically how these new positions are going to be established, so it will be the Secretary of Education that establishes them. It does not make it clear where the funding for those positions is going to come from. It does not make clear at all whether the funding for these new positions comes from the school's existing staffing allocation or an additional allocation. And I think that there are important reasons to consider that in terms of how schools operate. Because if they have, for example, trainee teachers through an approved initial teacher education program, say through a college, one of the colleges of education that exist now, those trainees will be in the classroom in addition to the teachers who are regularly there. Even if the teacher steps out for a while and says to the trainee teacher, you're going to run this class for a bit and I'm going to go off and prepare some lessons or whatever, that teacher would still be there and still have the ultimate oversight over what that person is doing. And this new provision potentially allows a trainee teacher position to be established instead of the regular classroom teacher that might be there. And if that trainee teacher is good, then maybe that's not such a bad thing. If that trainee teacher needs some help and some guidance, it isn't quite ready to be doing the job that they have been appointed to do, then those kids' education is going to be compromised, and they are not going to be receiving the standard of tuition that their parents should reasonably expect that they're going to be receiving at their school. So the question I've got from the Minister is the funding for this position in addition to or instead of the existing staff allocation time because I think that that's very important. So those are the two questions that I'd like the Minister to turn his attention to.
So, Mr. Chair,